Sonic the Hedgehog. We all love it.
Jesus Christ!
We all love it. And even as we soldier forth decade after decade into the blighted era of post-Dreamcast collapse, the series retains a weirdly durable brand power through reboots, fan games, famines, pestilence, and Sega. Come. Yeah, it's been decades since there was any kind of baseline expectation for this series. But what if I told you my years of experience as an expert Sonic have armed me with a cogent explanation for what has gone wrong with the series? And I don't mean the nitpicky stuff about how the series has too much cutscene dialogue or how the series has gradually become the province of deranged sex perverts. Look, okay, I've got Sonic on my mind, and I'm making that your problem today. This isn't gonna be a retrospective of how every Sonic since 2003 has been terrible. I'm gonna lay out the fundamental difference between then and now, and what's more, I will lay bare the mystery of the one central mechanic of classic Sonic that went missing from modern games. The void of that mechanic which they desperately tried to fill with shooting, fishing, hunting, talking tits, everything and anything but what they should have. And it wasn't speed. That's right. My thesis is that Sonic is not and has never been a game about speed. Wonder what it was? Well, you better just stick around and watch this video all the way through a few times, maybe click some buttons, family and whatnot. Part 1. A masterful marketing gimmick. Okay, Sonic's whole speed thing was just an after-the-fact marketing gimmick that worked so well that the developers themselves started falling for it. They tried to balance increasingly fast game design with the miscellaneous. And as they started to realize that diluting the experience with random side attractions wasn't popular, they doubled down on enhancing the speed concept, which also didn't really work. As nice as the Hedgehog engine feels when moving at top velocity, it's pretty limited everywhere else. Plus, how do you make challenges based entirely around stymieing your forward momentum without it being frustrating? This is the question that Sonic CD tried to answer way back in the early days with perhaps the most ambitious and strange concept of any classic 2D Sonic game. And depending on who you ask, Sonic CD is either the greatest or worst Sonic game ever made. So where do I stand on it? I'd have to say that Sonic CD is a fairly fucked up wad of shit. Part 2. Sonic CD is a fucked up wad of shit. Okay, maybe that's not quite fair. While CD is my least favorite of the classic Sonics, I wouldn't say I hate it. In fact, my opinion of Sonic CD is mostly more of what you'd call love-hate, or maybe love-ambivalent, or maybe sang-froid saudade. Plot twist, is Akis revealed to be a Portuguese dowager after all this time? Look, if you think the things I'm saying don't make sense, wait till you tangle with some of the level design in Sonic CD. The Genesis Sonic games presented you with a simple objective: get through the level as fast as possible without taking a hit. The genius of this was, instead of a health bar, your health is preserved by these irresistible collectibles that double as currency to access extra stages to get key items to unlock the best endings, as well as the primary means of getting extra lives. The genius of the ring concept cannot be understated. You are highly incentivized to get these things, and getting them is intuitive and satisfying. It's elegant, it's ingenious, it's perfect. Why this game is no less a game than a god. Losing rings when you get hurt, but having a chance to recover some of them is basically the world's first regenerating health mechanic. Halo got famous for basically the same idea years later, and everyone wanted to copy it and marry it. So Sonic CD comes along, and as the first attempt to iterate on a nearly flawless core formula, it got experimental, son. It got weird. Part 2, Section A, the good parts of Sonic CD. Well, it was here, not Sonic 2, where they originally came up with not only the spin dash, but the curiously never seen again super peel out. Further, it tries to incentivize replaying levels by adding more complexity. You know, lots of hidden stuff, myriad routes, and it's the only Sonic game to add a second optional good ending objective to the standard jewel gathering minigames. That being the time travel quest to destroy all the things. I don't know what they are. Metal hamburgers? Does anyone know what those are? Hey, comment if you know what the things are. I don't know what the hell. Additionally, it's got a sweet-ass art style and a soundtrack that was far ahead of its time. 2, actually. Also, it does a lot to try to iterate on the level design concepts of the first game. Probably the thing I like best about it, though, is it does a lot more than other early Sonics to try and incorporate environmental hazards into the levels and even the boss fights. Of particular note are a boss where Robotnik uses the air bubbles as a shield, one where you need to jump on projectiles to attain higher heights, and of course the famous race against Metal Sonic. It came up with all these ideas with only the first Sonic game to build off of. Overall, Sonic CD just had a long list of great-ass ideas going for it. Unfortunately, the list of great ideas that were well executed is slimmer than Sega's profit margin circa 1996.
$2.99.
Hey, right there. Nice up, Steve. Got him. Sakura Tyson their way out of this one. Well, first off, these fucked up special stages. Obviously, they got second processor to work with, so they're really trying to push the graphics, and I'm sure it was striking to the 6 people who got to play it at the time. But like with many of Sonic CD's neat ideas, they're writing a conceptual check that their collective asses could not cash. The faux 3D just makes hitting the UFOs practically impossible. The hitbox is like a fucking single glue-on in the middle of the sprite, and you can't tell what plane of existence you're in half the time. Also, am I insane, or is some of the water on the wrong tiles? God, these stages are just frustrating. Sonic 3 had basically a much more constrained version of the same concept, but at least it's reliably functional. And I know I praised the boss battles for being creative a minute ago, but can I just mention how bizarrely perfunctory they are? First of all, they only take 3 hits, if you need to hit them at all. I don't even know if it's statistically possible to lose to some of them. The weirdest thing about them, though, is also one of the most superfluous details of the game. That is, how the battles take place in whichever version of the future you got in a level, the good one or the bad one, which you'd sure think would be of some significant consequence, but no, not really, which is too bad because going through extra effort to bring about a good future in exchange for an easier boss battle at the end sounds like it could be a really good way to balance out the challenge. So what is all this good future talk? Among the many additions to the original game's formula, traveling through time is probably the most ill-advisedly ambitious, like trying to eat marshmallows until your stomach explodes. It's kind of impressive if you manage to pull it off, but it doesn't inspire respect, you know? It sounds like the perfect idea on paper. Sonic runs fast, so pair that with a little Back to the Future time warp gimmick, and there you go. Where it goes wrong is how fucking hard it is to even do a time warp. Levels are strewn with these signposts which arm you with the ability to warp in the direction thereupon indicated. You have to maintain top speed long enough to do a warp. Sounds simple. Problem being, the convoluted-ass level designs make it nearly impossible to do this in most circumstances. This problem was tacitly acknowledged by the developers because there are tons of little cheat spots where it's easy to do it, because otherwise you'd barely ever get the chance. So despite time travel being what the game is most known for, it occupies a weirdly tertiary status as an objective. The single most notable mechanic in the game is so underutilized I think it's possible, in fact likely, that most people will blaze through the whole game without ever using it on purpose. So like I mentioned, the default objective of the game is to hit up all these fucked minigames and to finish the game with all 6 time stones. But they must have realized how fucked the minigames are because they offer the completely parallel alternative of creating a good future in each act by finding and destroying one of the things in each zone's past section. And that's it really. Find a past marker, go there, find the hamburger, get good future. Ergo, traveling to the future itself is never beneficial and should be vigilantly avoided. But 2 of the 4 variants of each stage take place in the future, so half the content in the game is dedicated to a dead end. One of the ironies of the Back to the Future mechanic is that it probably would have worked much more seamlessly with the level designs in any of the other Sonic games. Besides how disincentivized you are from going anywhere but the past for one errand, time traveling is such an imbroglio that even getting to the past is hard enough. Traveling more than once in a single act is basically impossible. For a concept like this, I imagine it'd work better if you could volitionally jump between different versions of a level when you needed to, sort of like in Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. It's weird that the game makes it such a Herculean task to access one of its most core features. It's still definitely a neat idea, but here it's mostly just wasted effort. A worthy wasted effort, but still. Part 4. The Secret of Sonic. Sonic running through time didn't really work. Sonic running in a race didn't work. They eventually made a good Sonic racing game, but they had to put a spiky ass behind the wheel against Danica Patrick to make it happen. And just look at how middle of the road the good newer Sonics are. Generations, Colors, the daytime stages of Unleashed, they're alright, but doesn't it still feel like something is missing? Okay, are you ready? Here it is. The secret behind what made old Sonic work, and how they can make it work again, although they probably never will. Okay, here it is. Sonic is not a game about speed. Sonic is a game about rolling. Don't believe me? He turns into a ball. Rolling is actually faster than running almost all the time. They further facilitated this when they added a spin dash in Sonic 2. To further prove what geniuses they are, the Sonic Mania team added a jumping spin dash. I played through the whole game once before I realized that was an option. Good lord, my life is a lie. Oh, but you still spend most of your time running, right? Well, just look at his legs. His weird, spindly legs. When you get up to speed, his run cycle essentially works like a wheel. In fact, Sonic's running is tantamount to being in gear, while rolling works like being in neutral. Tons of the obstacles and gimmicks are based entirely around this. You got gears, gyroscopes of various types, centrifuges, assorted sinusoidal malarkey. Every obstacle is based around this idea of rolling somehow. Well, except for the barrel room in Sonic 3. That was total horseshit. I have no idea who came up with that.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
So I maintain that one of the core deficiencies of modern Sonic games has been the misguided emphasis on speed at the expense and neglect of the true core mechanic of rolling. Let's test this theory. Sonic Adventure was probably the most right they ever got it. Sonic can tuck into a roll. I'm pretty sure it's the only time he ever does this in 3D. He can tuck out of the roll in a very satisfying way mid-jump, and of course the spin dash is the most effective way of getting around in a quicker but harder to control way. A brilliant trade-off. Sonic Adventure 2 mostly reined in his versatility and focused on running, grinding, and other foot fetish-based interactions. There was even a cut stage on a submarine where Sonic stepped on the player in a first-person perspective and you could tickle his feet. Sonic Heroes Onwards just completely dispenses with any semblance of the rolling concept and goes all in on linear obstacle courses of Tony Hawk shit. The overemphasis on needlessly maintaining high speed is what leaves many of those games feeling like they play themselves so much of the time. Those newer games also have such a low skill ceiling. That's one of the fun things about classic Sonics is you can get good, son. If you're new, you probably fall and die and need your mom to help you pass these shifting platforms, but with some practice, you can be like, fuck! They spent so much time trying to remedy the balance of speed with actual gameplay, but they were missing the point all along, and that is the biggest problem with modern Sonic. Oh, and also the sex perverts. So, can a good 3D Sonic ever be made? Well, a few games have given us a bit of a basis. Maybe combine how ball Samus handles in the Metroid Prime games with, I don't know, how motorcycles handle in GTA. And actually, now that I think of it, Okami had basically a perfect running mechanic. The way she can kind of bank and twist and do 180-degree turns and bounce off walls and climb up stuff and all that. Yeah, like that, I guess. Even Mario has started doing donuts on the overgrown grave of Sonic's legacy in his most recent outing by getting his own spin dash and supersonic spin attack. Fuck! So if anyone out there wants to make a fan 3D Sonic game, I think these are the places you should look for fucking ideas to steal. I look forward to streaming that shit. Thanks for listening to my latest ramblings, and if you found them interesting, here's the VOD for the stream where the Okazoku and I played through Sonic CD in its entirety. It inspired a lot of the design theory talk that we had today. Also, make sure to check out Yuzuchi. She's the one who made my super swell essay avatars. And, you know, I got a lot more essays and videos planned for the future, so if you want to see this cute boy in action again, that old sub button's right over there. We play games and study Japanese and stuff as well. Who knows what other malarkey we may get up to in the future. Okay, thank you. Good night.